From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show. That's the way it is. Thank you, Bulldog. Good intro there. Always enjoy hearing Bulldog Willis and that guitar, man.
Love it. Love the way that boy picks.
He can do some picking. Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's good to have you. Of course, the Super Bowl was last weekend. Hope your team won.
Yeah, hope your favorite rap artist was performing.
Well, from what I could understand of them, I couldn't understand it, so I just turned it off. So.
I went out on the lanine, had a puff.
Did you?
A puff and a shot for about 15 minutes and come back in. So well, it was good second half. Though,
it was a great second half, and
our local
kudos to Matt Stafford winning his first Super Bowl. I was very happy for him.
He earned it.
Yes, he did, and he and Joe Burrow really put on a show, and both of them were very excellent. I enjoyed the game.
I wouldn't mind seeing either one of them come to Dallas myself.
Yeah, well, ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
We'd all have a Merry Christmas.
That's it. But hopefully you won some money on the game. I heard Mattress Mac down in Houston lost $4.1 million on that game.
He needed to write off.
Probably did.
That's true. That boy got crazy money.
He does. This is a Grandpa and Pappy Show. If you haven't joined us before, it's a program that gives you our viewers an opportunity to voice your opinions on various questions that we come up with, and a lot of those questions are based basically on the questions that you ask us.
We ask the unbiased questions, and you answer them
the way you want.
And we love that. We are listening, by the way.
And we thought we'd change pace a little bit with all the crazy crap going on in our country right now.
Yeah.
We thought we would lead off our show on a positive note today. And that is, can you tell us some influential veterans in your life? I mean, your dad was a big influence on your life.
He was served in Korea. He was a cook in the DMZ in Korea.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Boy, he's right in the middle of it, wasn't he?
Oh, that boy can sling some hash, I tell you. He could cook.
I know Special K's dad was a Air Force, or I should say Army Corps. Army Air Corps before it became the Air Force.
Yeah.
He was a captain, a bomber pilot.
Wow.
And my dad was in the United States Navy, and my brother served in the United States Army during the Vietnam era.
Wow.
So a lot of us sitting here, and a lot of you at home, have got influential people that had a lot to do with your life and the way you are today. So
and thank them for all their service.
Absolutely.
As well as you current veterans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. We have some great responses today, so let's just get right into it and see who influenced your life as you told it to us. Holly Hollenbeck from New York State told us for her it was her Uncle Will.
No.
He was a POW for 2+ years, then went MIA with my grandfather.
Wow.
He was a good man.
Wow.
Charlie
George said, "Friend, there isn't enough space for me to list them all. Family was first, my dad and uncles, then I married a Marine veteran. The man taught me so much after his death and receiving his records. I learned so much about him and what he endured. This gave me the passion of working with veterans and their families. I have worked with so many wonderful vets, and I have also buried so many others, including KIAs and suicide victims."
And I'll tell you, Charlie had a little bit more to say, but we couldn't get all of it in. But I will say this, Charlie, thank you for all you do for all of the veterans that you're involved with.
Absolutely.
Her late husband, Gunny Sergeant Arlen George, was quite a guy. I knew him very well.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did. He was a great guy, and we really thought a lot of him.
We owe you a debt of gratitude for your sacrifices.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
J.C. Tolbert said for him, that is easy. My dad, Robert, He was a Korean War vet and was one of the finest men I've ever known. He's gone now, but I still live with the values he taught me to this day. I don't think any veteran gets the recognition they deserve, and we need to change that.
That's
So
right.
to all the veterans, just let me say thank you
Yeah.
for serving our great country.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a great
Absolutely. Well said.
statement.
Well said.
Absolutely.
Well, my debt of
Before I
gratitude.
go any further, I heard from a long-lost friend I hadn't heard from in years the other day.
It wasn't Big Al.
No.
Okay.
His name is Larry Pack. I knew him back when I was in radio in Tyler a long time ago in the JCs with him.
Yeah.
But now he lives in Hawkins, Texas, and he found me through this podcast.
Really?
He sure did.
Just stumbled right across you, huh?
and traced me down till he found a phone number, and we talked for a long time the other day.
How cool is that?
But how you doing, Larry?
Larry, how you doing, bud?
Hope everybody in Hawkins, Texas is doing well.
Been through there a few times.
Yes, sir. We sure have.
Our buddy Frank Edgar told us my mom and dad had several brothers and sisters, and I guess a lot of them were vets. Both grandfathers served in Europe in World War II. At least 2 uncles served in Korea. My 3 brothers served 6 to 8 years in Europe in the Army during the 60s. 2 brothers volunteered and 1 went to Vietnam. Every man I knew up and down the road growing up, teachers included, served in either the First or Second World War. Several cousins served in the Army and Navy, with at least 1 going to Vietnam. My draft number was 325, so I joined rather than be the one who didn't serve. As an adult, I came to understand the impact in a man when he goes to war. That's pretty profound. Frank also had a lot more to say, but we couldn't include all of it. You know, and that brings to mind for me about that second draft lottery.
Yeah.
Now, what you got, Keyword?
I just want to say something that, it's really building up with the Russia attack imminent.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that serves as an Army Ranger right now and has been deployed to Poland.
Oh, boy.
And he is part of from what we understand, we don't have a lot of information on where he is or what he's doing or
Intelligence.
anything like that, but he's part of the strategic planning over there right now.
Good
So
Lord.
pray for him if anybody does that sort of thing.
Consider it done. It's no, Cassie, my daughter-in-law's got a brother that's a ranger, and they don't even know where he's at.
Yeah.
He's
I can
way
imagine.
up to it. But that second draft lottery, he had mentioned his draft number was 325. Try 16 is what mine was. And 2.5 months, and I went ahead and enlisted as deferment.
Yeah.
I was going after that $2,500 bonus. I thought, well, got to have something out of this deal. And they abolished the draft. And I never heard back from Uncle Sam. I even contacted them. They said, we can't find any information on you.
Just kind of lost it in the paperwork,
Have
did they?
have a good life. Yeah, so I didn't have to worry about driving to Canada anymore.
If you just joined us, we're talking about influential veterans that have been in your life and what
Yeah.
they mean to you.
Yep.
Michelle Purviance Brown said, first and foremost, it was her dad, Charles Purviance. He retired after 21 years in the Army. He served 2 times in Korea, the first time during the war, and a year in Vietnam. We got to live in Germany 2 different times, and I was born in France. My 2 older brothers also were in the Army, one for 16 years, and the oldest retired after 20 years. I have many in my family who have served in either the Army or the Marines.
Wow.
Every one of those men would be really pissed off at our government now and the Democrats who support it.
Ain't it so? And our buddy Big Matt Banister says for him it was Jim Banister and Michael Banister. Debbie Armstrong Lowe said my uncle Al Goodwin, he was as close to Jesus as a man could be. He was my hero. He was a Navy vet in World War II.
Well,
Thank
you
you
go.
for your service up there, big boy.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Jim Banister and Michael Banister. And
Must have
Uncle
been-
Al.
Must have been a hell of a man to put up with old big man. I bet he was a hellion
Well,
growing up. wasn't he?
if Uncle Al is as big as Matt is,
Yeah.
I'd listen to him.
Yeah. My only hope is on Halloween he made a prettier woman than you did, Matt. Okay.
Boy, that's another story for another program, I'm telling you.
It is.
But I'm not going to piss him off. I'm telling
He
you.
knows what I'm talking about. I still got his garter.
Yeah, there you go. Paul Master said his hero was his brother Pat. He's a veteran of the Vietnam War, and he had trouble adjusting to life after the Army, but he did it.
Yeah.
And he's one of the greatest guys you will ever meet. Thanks, Pat, and all the other vets who served this great country.
And we at the Grandpa and Pappy Show thank you all as well.
Absolutely, and a big salute.
Our dear friend Susan Saunders said it was her Uncle George Schultz.
Big George.
We know George.
We
don't
know
we?
George. Yes, we do.
He's always been my best friend, and when he'd tell me even a little of what he was in the Army, I could see the pain and the things he didn't or wouldn't tell me. And that's a lot of vets. They can't voice that.
Can't talk about it. My brother's the same way.
Is he? Who,
Yeah.
Archie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The fact that he and so many others made it home is amazing, but it's also sad and heartbreaking for those who didn't. Uncle George will always be my best friend and hero, even after he beats me for this, LOL. I don't think he won't. I think he'll give you a big old bear hug.
Well, and he's got big old bear paws for hands, I'm telling you.
He's not the kind of guy you want to piss off. That's for
But he's the kind of guy that you're proud to call your friend.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you that.
He's a
I'm
good
very
man.
proud.
He's a good man, has a good heart.
He really does. Darlita Macaulay Holland said it was Randy Phillips, my son's father. He was a great patriot and Vietnam veteran. Ronnie Barrett said there are just too many to list here. So,
Absolutely.
I'm sure there are.
And cousin Russell Curlin up in Wyoming, and this is
Big
touching.
Russell, we hadn't heard from him in a while.
This is touching, Russ. Says his dad, who was also my Uncle Lou, and one hell of a fine man and a tall drink of water too, was the finest man I've ever known and my best friend. He was honest, hardworking, and would do whatever it took to care for his family. He was tough, but had a soft side. Deborah Brusso Folio said her two great uncles who served in World War I and an uncle who was KIA in the Pacific Theater in World War II. My dad was in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get back to Uncle Lou, he was one hell of a fine man, and when him and old Charles DeWitt Terry got together,
Look out.
there's a whole lot of laughing going on. That's all I know.
That's
Yeah. But you're right, Russ.
I can only imagine.
You're right, Russ. He was a fine man. I loved him to death. I did.
And finally, Crawford Young said one, his son John, because he was in Iraq and Afghanistan.
He was.
2, my daughter Kim, because she is serving now and achieved her nursing degree. They answered the call and served this country. They have made me the proudest father on earth. 3, Dad Crawford and Stepdad Bill, who fought in the Korean War and helped shape the man I am today. 4, brother-in-law Paul, who skipped college to jump into the jungles of Vietnam from the air and straight into the heat.
Wow.
5, Uncle J.D., who survived Pearl Harbor, taught me the farm life and hard work starting at age 7. 6, Cousin Junior, who served in Vietnam, showing me what a badass looks like.
Yeah.
And finally, various co-workers, friends, and acquaintances who carry the torch wherever they go and share their kindred spirit.
Very well said, Crawdaddy. Yeah.
Crawford, you're beginning to scare me with some of your observations. They make a lot of sense.
He's had all them hidden smarts for as long as I've known him. Didn't notice it till
He
we
must
come
have
out with
opened
this
up the can, you know.
Somebody else you don't want to piss off, by the way, is
That's
Crawdaddy.
right.
He's
He's a big man.
a pretty husky boy.
He's a pretty husky
Yeah,
fella.
he is.
Well, we appreciate so very, very much
Yes,
all
we
of
do.
our veterans,
Yeah.
be it past or current veterans serving in our military. We can't thank you guys enough, and you ladies, because you stepped up, made the call, or heard the call and stepped up and served your country. And we appreciate it so
They did
very much.
They did their job just to get sand kicked in their face, and that just it's sickening to me what our vets are going through, and our
Sometimes.
current military people. They, you know, they're running around crazy right now.
Yeah,
Like,
because they
what?
have no guidance.
Sir, you want me to do what? You know, I don't think I can handle it, man. You know,
Well,
it's like Pops told me. He said, "There's a reason you didn't go to Nam, son. I said, why? And he said, well, you're goofy enough and doped up enough back in those days. Somebody say get down, you jump up, start getting your boogie on, and get your damn brains blowed out if you had any. And he was right.
I loved it.
Pops or something.
I heard that.
God rest his soul.
Well, we appreciate it so very much.
Yes,
and when
we
we
do.
come back, we're going to talk a little seriousness here that's going on in our country. I mean, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? And we had some good opinions on that one, and we'll talk about that and more coming up when the Grandpa and Pappy Show continues. Right after this.
Yeah.
And here is the kitchen.
When searching for a luxury home, you can't always be there in person. But a REMAX agent can help you every step of the way.
Oh my gosh.
Max and Remax. They're not Rollo and Paulo, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Hey, welcome back to Grandpa and Pappy Show. Our part 2 segment today is talking about whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty. It seems like the courts are being influenced unduly by the mainstream media today, Pop.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah. I mean, if they think you're guilty, I mean, whether you weren't even there.
They're going off assumption, and you see what, and this is something that, although it's wrong, it really sogs my Cheerios up.
Yeah.
I heard this morning where what's his name, the pitcher for the Angels,
Yeah.
was found guilty, and he stands to serve 10 to 20 years over the doping incident.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
What?
yeah, they found him guilty.
That's crazy mess.
It is.
Well, let's see. Let's back up
I
a
mean,
minute.
they just let a daggum person that shot at a mayor go free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This world's all screwed up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well,
But
what
you're
happened
right.
to innocent until proven guilty? Well, let's take a look at what some of you guys had to say. And quite honestly, Pappy, we had some very colorful ones today.
As we always do.
We surely do. John Bossy says that no longer applies to conservatives. Where are all of the citizens that protested on January 6th?
Yeah.
They're locked away in total solitary confinement, just like the Russians, Koreans, or Communist China government does to those that don't agree.
And John, I have a feeling speaking about the ones who are still alive, you know,
Yeah.
that didn't commit suicide. Kim Stonecipher Morgan said there's no such thing as that anymore. You're guilty until proven innocent. Michael Prescott said it all starts with the media. If they think you're guilty, then all their coverage and commentaries condemn the person up to, during, and after the trial. And that's a fact.
That is.
It is a shame that it's come down to this. And Kim, you're right, dear.
You know, I keep
Absolutely
going
right.
back to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Yeah.
The mainstream media crucified this guy,
Yeah.
and he was proven innocent on all counts.
Yeah.
You know, he was proven innocent.
You know, irregardless to what his age is, this is the way I look at it. I mean, I admire him for standing up for his family. I do. But, you know, the age factor, I mean, I can't see me walking down the street with an AR strapped to me.
Yeah.
At that age. I mean, God, hell, they'd all been dead if I'd have done that. That's fact. But he has the constitutional and God-given right to stand up and defend himself. You know, all of a sudden, it's not about GrandpaPappy's story anymore. It's about him defending his life. They'd have killed that boy.
They would have.
They would have.
They surely would.
Yep.
I believe that, and so did the jury.
Yeah, loan me $1 million, John.
Well, he's gonna become a very rich young man.
Hell, he'll be a senator in 10 years. What are you talking about?
Dak Kosachada, I hope I said that right,
Kosachada.
Dak, told us that has never been the case. It is guilty until you're proven yourself innocent.
Yeah.
Bobby Reddy said, today, you're only entitled to as much freedom as you can afford. Think about it. Crawford Young agreed with Bobby, saying, you nailed it.
You know, and I remember we used to watch Perry Mason because Dad loved Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
And every episode, I mean, it got to where it was coming on daily, right?
Yeah.
Dad would sit back being the cop that he was. He goes, "That's my shit. That ain't the way it goes." And being present front and center in court myself, I found out real quick he's right. There's a lot of deals made in that judge's chamber.
Hollywood drama.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I can't stand it. Where are we?
Leslie
Rosenthal said there's only for high society. Said that it is there only for high society citizens. To which Tommy Parker told him, "You obviously have not been accused of anything." Leslie came back to say, "I've been accused of farting once, and I didn't do it."
There you go.
See, they proved you innocent.
There you are. Bobby Bride said all the Democrats are fighting among themselves. They're all spoiled, rotten babies, but they can all have their way all of the time.
Yep.
Brett Barker says a lot of things have changed since we've grown up. That's a fact.
Ain't that so? Yeah. Judy Gilley told us it's really guilty until proven innocent, and that's true.
That's true.
I remember the days when it used to be the other way around.
Excuse me.
And Frank Edgar said it's now only applicable to liberals. Marcia Gray said that is putting it in a nutshell.
That's
right
correct.
there, by God.
Melanie Renee Sisk said, "Amen. I believe it is guilty until proven innocent, and it is so sad, especially for those who have not committed a crime."
Yep.
Albert Morris said, "Someone needs to go even out the scales of justice and make sure the law is followed. It is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty."
That's kind of the way I was raised.
I agree,
believe, so.
Albert. That's the way I was raised. Yeah.
Frank Edgar stated, "I have to admit it's chosen for a jury. I'd be far more interested in the defendant proving they are innocent than the prosecutor proving they are guilty. But then I'm old school and trust the cops. I hope the Kenosha morons are the exception to the rule rather that the rule. For me, if a cop arrests you, you're probably guilty." And that's pretty much, even today, that's the way it is,
Well,
you
that's
know.
true.
But I mean, hell,
Cops just don't arrest you for no reason. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the restrictions. Look at all the restrictions cops have to deal with.
Absolutely.
Anybody behind the badge.
Billy Felton Jr. told us our criminal justice system is now based on the premise guilty until proven wealthy.
Yeah.
It is a system where if you can't pay attorneys, the court will appoint a guide to help you transition into the prison for profit life.
Yep.
Attorneys protect their industry and craft first, then their income, and maybe, just maybe, this thing called justice. We are in a desperate need of reform. Our legal system as a whole is a failure.
Yep.
Accountability is needed. Checks and balances is needed, along with rigorous oversight.
Yeah.
Attorneys have proven they can't police themselves.
That's a fact. These court-appointed attorneys, hell, they've got probably a worse rap sheet, per se, than the people they're representing. You know?
Yeah, and then you got those that go and visit the client in jail looking at their watch. "I got to get to Bobby's piano recital. Thank you very much."
That's right. I'm not making any money here. I need
Yeah.
to go. Bob Baker said the media decides if you're guilty or not based on your race, political aspersions, and nature of your offense. Then they try to influence the court to back them up. Sad times we live in, and Leslie Rosenthal told Bob that his common sense he's got goes a long way.
Absolutely.
He represents those two words very well, doesn't he?
And finally today, Antonio Salazar says we Americans have it pretty easy. Sure, there's some misjustices in this country, but go to court in another country, including Mexico, and see what chance you have.
Yep.
If you have to go to court there, you're already guilty, and they just have to decide your punishment.
Yep.
Even though some changes to the American justice system is in order, just be thankful we have what we have.
He's got a point.
For now.
Well, that's true, too.
That's exactly
That's very
what they're
true.
screwing with, is our rights to be that way.
Yeah,
So.
and thank you guys so much for your input on that subject. Let's take a look at some of the comments that we got in this past week. Mark Mason said on Instagram that he enjoyed listening to Tim O'Hare that we had here last
Yeah, our
week.
bud, yeah.
I learned quite a few things I didn't know or understand, but now I do. I think this guy would make a great county judge.
I think he'd make a better politician because he's not going to stand by for corruption.
No.
He's not about all that kind of
No, he's
stuff. Mary Sue Taylor asked us, When are these Hollywood elites going to learn to keep their mouth shut?
That's a great
I'm
question.
sick and tired of having them think they're so much better than we are when they have no idea what reality is.
Correct.
And, and you're onto something there. She says it's just plumb sickening.
It is it.
Yeah.
They have no idea
No.
what us real folks go through every day.
And they don't care.
No,
I
they
mean,
don't
and
care.
we're the people that are making them rich.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're real quick to judgment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Allison Kramer wants to know why all of the rioters arrested in the summer of 2020 are not in jail.
Yep.
I can't understand why they can destroy, loot, burn, and hurt people and police officers and not be held accountable. Then I look at those being held for January 6th, and they are all in solitary confinement. Where is the justice in that? You should do a show on that.
You know, Allison, that's a good idea. I mean, this ringleader, I forget his name. He's saying, I think I should be released until I go to court.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Papa.
there you go. Hey, thank you very much for your viewer comments.
Oh,
If
God.
you have a idea, a suggestion, or a comment that you'd like to make on a question of the day, there's quite a few ways you can do that.
Tell
here
me
on the
one.
Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Can we say one of them?
Yes. First of all, you can go to our website, which is www.grandpaandpappy
It's coming.
at
Sorry.
I told you, there it is.
gmail.com.
That's a good way to get her started right there, by God.
Or
you can simply hit us up on our show website page, which can be found by keying in www.grandpa and the letter N Pappy at where am I? .com. that's grandpaandpappy.com. What I'm trying to spew, where you'll see a big red button that pops up.
yeah, the big red button. Yeah. So you just push that big red button and
What happens?
Well, you can join the Grandpa and Pappy Show absolutely free.
It says
And there
subscribe.
By
God.
you can go to Facebook group page,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
and YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can always join us on our Facebook group page,
Yeah.
which actually you'll see
And
90, I would say 96% of all of the comments that we read here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show. So
unedited.
unedited.
It's got dirty words
absolutely.
and everything sometimes till
It sure does.
till my compadre here gets a hold of it.
Sorry, the mascot just
Yeah.
moved the camera.
Yeah, our mascot bumped into the camera, but that's
all
okay.
right. She's earned that right.
She
so.
has that.
Yeah, but
Hey.
we've said it over and over and over and over again. You guys absolutely rock. Y'all rock. Y'all the best listeners in the podcast world.
Absolutely.
And
You
we love
surely
you.
are.
We love you each and every one.
Well, we'll be back next week with another show. We hope
Yeah.
you'll join us for that. We always end every show by telling you to reach out and hug your kids and let them know you love them. Because it's very, very important this time.
That's true. And we
The times we're living in.
not only will they appreciate it, but it'll make you look better than everybody else's eyes too.
Ain't it so?
Tell them they're well loved right here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show too. By
By
God,
God, yeah, absolutely.
They are. That's a fact.
Until we see you guys again, please take care of each other.
Do that.
Be nice to each other.
We're about all we got left in this crazy world.
That is so true.
Yep.
That is so true. God bless you all, and God bless our great country, the United States of America.
Absolutely.
Till we see you again, take care, be safe, and we'll see you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.